Then we're going to review the parole violation charges that the state, your parole officer, is bringing against you. We'll then review and identify the exhibits that have been filed for the record. The state is not present at today's proceedings. However, you will have an opportunity to present any relevant testimony and any relevant documents. After considering all the evidence presented, I will announce my findings. And if I find we have violated one or more of the conditions of your parole, the state, you will have an opportunity to speak towards your background and history. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No, I don't.
So you have important rights today, and we're going to review them now. You have the right to be represented by an attorney for this hearing. You may hire your own attorney, and if you cannot afford an attorney, you may qualify for an appointed one. So were you informed that you could have representation here today?
No, but I'm okay without it.
Okay, so just to confirm, you're willing to move forward today without an attorney present?
Yes.
Okay. You also have the right to receive the written notice of charges of the violation. Did you receive that written notice?
I did.
Perfect. You also have the right to review the evidence against you before this hearing. You have the right to submit evidence in support of your case, and you have the right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights? Now you're ready to go forward?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to review the charges that the state, your parole officer, is bringing against you and the information underlying each charge. So on charge number 1, the condition of residence, the charging officer reported that on May 5th, 2025, your parole officer was notified that you had not returned to your residence at 19 Denison Avenue, New London since May 2nd, 2025. This is your only parole-approved residence. And on charge number 2, the condition of obedience to the law, the charging officer reported that on May 7th, 2025, New Haven police attempted to conduct a motor vehicle stop on the vehicle you were operating. You failed to stop and engage New Haven police in a pursuit, which ended with you being arrested and taken into custody. Subsequently, you were charged with interfering with an officer, reckless driving, engaging police in a pursuit, wrong-way driving, failure to obey officer signal. You were arraigned in New Haven Superior Court on May 8th, 2025. The state has filed the following exhibits that have been labeled are marked for identification purposes as follows. Exhibit A, the signed Connecticut Conditions of Parole. Exhibit B, the Connecticut Board of Parole Remand to Actual Custody Order. Exhibit C, the Notice of Parole Violation. Exhibit D, the Parole Violation Report. Exhibit E, the New Haven Police Report number 250-18022. Exhibit F, the Recovery 12 Solutions Letter. Exhibit G, the Judicial Pending Case Detail Docket number 825S and 941S. And Exhibit H, the Brantford Police Report number 250007553. In addition, the state did file an addendum to the parole violation report on July 29, 2025. And it states that on July 28, 2025, you were sentenced under docket ending 941S to 30 days jail for reckless driving and 120 days jail for engaging police in a pursuit. In addition, the additional charges were all nullied. And you're also convicted of larceny 5 under docket ending in 484S and sentenced to 120 days jail as well. That's all it says. So one more time, Ms. Martinez, did you receive the notice of parole violation, the parole violation report, and all the other documents that have been identified for today's purposes?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Okay, great. And I have not received any exhibits from you at this time. Do you need any time to submit any evidence on your own behalf?
No, I just...
Well, don't go into it yet. We're going to get there, but you don't need any time. You don't want to submit any evidence? Okay. All right, so we do not have any witnesses today. So now it is your opportunity to respond to the parole violation charges against you. However, please remember that you do have the right to remain silent if you choose to do so. So would you like to make any statements towards the charges?
Sure. I would like to start by saying that guilty of the charges put against me for when I was out in New London on parole. I went through the process of going to the Cochegan house, halfway house, and then from there I went to live in Recovery 12 sober housing. I did everything correctly until I didn't. What I'm implying is that I went to meetings every day. I went to church without fail. I got baptized, which is something I never considered in the past when I was in my negativity. But I was literally and honestly doing my all to stay drug-free and crime-free. And it worked. until it didn't. And that's when one day I rented a vehicle from Enterprise, and with good intentions of going down to New Haven to pick up my daughter and do, some eating out and visiting some family members. And somehow the thought of
Right off rip, he's saying he's got a kid and he was going to meetings and everything. And to be honest, he's taking accountability for everything. So, in my humble opinion, I believe give him a second chance or let him go back to the halfway house because it's obvious that he wants to be in his children's life and he wants to change. So, that's my opinion.
Although I know that how to go about it, it's just for some reason it just didn't work then. What I mean is that I knew that I should did a prayer or call somebody, but I got stuck, and
I think a lot of people forget how powerful the power of prayer really is. So, like I said, in my opinion, give him a second chance, let him go to the halfway house, and get his life together.
And every time I use, I lose. And that's my motto. Every time I use, I lose, and it's been proven over and over. And I'm so disappointed that when I came in, I almost gave up on trying. But being that it went so well during the time that I was doing good, that just the taste enough, I want to go back to that. And that's the honest truth. So I don't have much time left as far as time of incarceration, and I don't know what will be the decision made, but it appears that I have a controlling sentence of 120, which started 728, and if when I got 3 years to follow, and I don't have an address, so I would like to be considered to go back to New London, and continue what I was doing in that area. And if it can be done beforehand, as far as like within this 120 days, that would be greatly appreciated. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, I'm just going to take a moment and then I will announce my findings.
Okay. Sure.
Right. So charge number one, Mr. Criminal Martinez, I am finding that you violated the condition of residence based on the evidence presented in States Exhibits A, T, and F. On charge number two, the condition of obedience to the law, I'm also finding that you violated that condition based on your conviction of the reckless driving when you received a 30-day sentence and the engaging police in pursuit when you received a 120-day sentence on July 28, 2025. In addition, the evidence that supports the charge are States Exhibits A, T, and G. So that does conclude the fact-finding portion of today's hearing. Before I do make my recommendation, you can have another opportunity to speak. If you have anything additional to add towards your background and history, you kind of made a statement you want to go back to what you were doing. So any plans for housing or jobs, sobriety?
So yes, for my final statement, I would like to...
One second. Just so you know, this statement is to help me with what my recommendation would be, okay? All right, good.
Yes,
all right,
no problem. So, as far as goals and plans, I'm so blessed to have done well enough to have the Recovery 12 overseer. His name is Danny L. We in contact because my parole officer gave me his number, and we've been in contact through phone and the e-message tablet thing. And he desires for me to go back to New London, that he got my back, because I made a good impact on him. Meaning he's seen how devoted I was and how serious I was, how my walk was. And he says, I don't do this with everybody, but with you, and I can see that you really want it, but you just need to polish up in some areas, and I'm willing to help you. So I'm in contact with him. I'm also in contact with my recovery coach, Soraya Perraza. She also e-messaged me, and we talk on the phone. So all in all, I have my church family in New London, my recovery family in New London, and perhaps my same job in New London, because my boss was very happy with the way I worked. His only disappointment was that I went back to drugs, and obviously I'm disappointed in myself too. But everything is still in New London, and that's why I'm choosing New London, because New London wasn't the problem; it was just me.
What is the job?
The job was in Diamond Pizza. Is a restaurant in Bank Street, and they always hire. So hypothetically speaking, if I were to show up, I know he will give me a job, and I'm like confident in that, because I was like one of the best workers. Because I am a good worker. I just have some issues I have to address.
Thank you. So, and you said New London, so you will need a halfway house?
So I will, if I can be considered for a halfway house as of like the sooner the better. But I don't have discharge in like November, but I don't have an address. And if I was to get to a halfway house prior to my discharge of November, which I start special parole, then it will give me a head start in doing what I need to do and plug it in back to the community.
And it sounds like you did well there also. So
Yes.
at the halfway house.
Honestly, oh yes, Kochigan House, I did excellent.
All right. So I'm just going to take a moment. I'll let you know my recommendation. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so I have reviewed all the evidence that was submitted. I've also listened to your testimony today. With that, Mr. Quinones mentioned that I am recommending your parole be revoked and that you serve an approximate 5-month period of confinement as a sanction. So that is with a re-parole date of October 7th, 2025. I'm going to recommend the following conditions: no consumption of alcoholic beverages, no contact with co-defendant Tina Portino, no operation of a motor vehicle without parole officer's permission. Just keep that one in mind, okay? Mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary, and halfway house placement in New London. So what's going to happen next is my recommendation is going to go to the board on today the 5th, on the 18th. So on September 18th, my recommendation is going to go to the board, and the board can do a few things on that date. They can adopt my recommendations. They can lower it if they choose to do so.
Well, as you see, they remanded him, but it seems like he's taking accountability, and like I said before, good for him, and prayers to him. But like as I always say, stay blessed and stay free.
Or for any reason they would want to see a longer period of incarceration for you, they will call you back for a third hearing to discuss their questions and concerns before that is imposed.